We'll welcome you to the Spring Patrol Tracking Canine class. I'd like to introduce some of the command staff members that are here today. To my right, Chief Frank Fowler from the Syracuse Police Department. To my left, Deputy Chief Rebecca Thompson, who is over the Uniform Bureau, which, good or bad, is over us. Next to her is Deputy Chief George Van Bramer from Troy Police Department. Oh, there they are. From Ithaca PD, we have not only their chief, but their deputy chief. Excuse me. You don't want to cough in the microphone here. Chief John Barber, if you can just give it a little wave, Chief. And Deputy Chief Pete Tyler. I want to thank the command staff for attending. The handlers appreciate it. They put a lot of time and effort into this, and it's nice to see the support of the command staff. At the graduations we hold, we like to start out with a moment of silence for our officers that have given their lives in the line of duty. I checked the Officer Down memorial page last night, and 38 line of duty deaths for police officers in the U.S. have occurred so far to date. And what struck me a little bit, not unusual, but maybe alarming, shocking, that 13 canines have lost their life in the service to their communities. This is about a 50% increase from last year at this time. I don't know if it's a sign of the times or just the dogs are being put into more dangerous situations or what that is, but that kind of was a little bit striking. So we just take a few minutes, say a quiet prayer for not only our human two-legged officers, but our counterparts that have the four legs with us. Thank you. On March 28th, the members of this class arrived and started out as separate individuals, and even though some of the class knew each other, we had a vast array of experience, from someone that was going on to his fourth canine partner, to a second canine partner, to someone that had a new partner. We called her the newbie the first day, but that didn't kind of go over too well, so we didn't really kind of come up with a nickname for her like we do with some of the people, but she was always smiling and kind of pleasure to the group. But they came together as a group. They helped each other, which is always good from an instructor standpoint, makes things easier. Even though, again, sometimes you have experienced guys that think they know everything. It wasn't the case with this group. Their new partners, if they had ones before, were completely different from the ones they had. And they had to adjust and kind of self-adapt to them. And the new person just kind of went with the flow and didn't really kind of have too much of an idea of what maybe the dog should be doing or not doing. But they came together as a group, and it certainly helped myself and Officer Zachis out as trainers. This is the first phase of their training. They still have to do their specialty, which is two of them are going to be narcotic dogs and one will be an explosive dog. This is the first phase. They'll be coming back after the summer ends. We like to say this is where your journey begins. We'd like to hear your successes, and you will have successes, I am confident of that. So please let us know how you're doing. Just a couple thank yous before we give out the certificates. Obviously, our command staff. We couldn't do schools like this if we didn't have the support of the chief and the deputy chief and all the chiefs and the mayor. They've been very, very good to us with having us do the schools, kind of impart a little bit of our knowledge, and helping other agencies progress to the point where they can become viable canine teams. Thank you. Camillus Fire Department housed the handler from Troy. One of our handlers knew the staff members there, and they were very accommodating with having the handlers stay there, and they've been very helpful to us in the last couple classes. And also our counterparts over at the Sheriff's Department were more than helpful in letting us use their kennel facility to house the dogs during the nighttime. I want to thank them. Just, Chief, if you don't mind, just a few words before we present the certificates.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you all for coming out. Beautiful day, nice park, and a great time. For 9 weeks, the people before you have gone through some pretty rigorous training, and now they're prepared to go out and service their community, the officers along with their canine partners. But during the course of these 9 weeks, there's something that that really doesn't stand out as obvious, and that's the relationships and the bond that's formed through collaborative partnerships and through trainings like this. Law enforcement resources are shrinking across the country as the demand for our services is growing. At the numbers that Timmy pointed out, the line of duty deaths for police officers and for canines that are in service, that number is extremely high. And that just goes to show you how our world is changing. And because our world is changing, what you all are going to be called upon to do with your brand new canine partners, it's changing. The demand is going to be pretty high for each of you, and the training that you've gone through, and I don't have to tell you guys that, but I'll tell everybody else that's standing around here, the training that you all have gone through is some of the best that you're going to receive in the country, because here at the Syracuse Police Department, that's what we believe in. You have to train how you work, and you have to prepare each day that you go forward at worst case scenario, because you don't know what's around the corner. And that's what these gentlemen have attempted to do, and ladies, sorry, in these 9 weeks of training that you all have gone through. That's what we've attempted to do here, and I think we've done a pretty good job. And I know we're turning over a great product to your prospective agency. So I want to encourage you all to lean on those relationships that you formed over this period of time, and to make those phone calls in the wee hours of the morning to share information, because crime has no borders. And here in the city of Syracuse, we're willing to help and extend a hand to all of our brothers and sisters wherever you may be out there, because we're all in this fight together. To the Dalton family, it's good to see you out there. And I know Rod's smiling down on us today and blessing us with his presence here. And I just want to thank you all for coming out. To the chiefs and deputy chiefs from the prospective agencies, thank you all for coming out and joining us here today. And I want to encourage you all of you officers that are out there in earshot of me, to be safe in your duties. Thanks.
Thank you, Chief. We'll present the class certificates for the completion of the school. Chief and Officer Zakis, if you can come up in front. I neglected to thank Joe Zakis. Joe was a very big help. I always kind of neglect him, I guess, but he was a very big help during the school as the other instructor that we utilized. First, from the Ithaca Police Department, and if I butcher your last name, I'm sorry. I've done it for 9 weeks. I guess today shouldn't be any different, but Officer Jamie Buffone. Hopefully I got it right. Her dog's name is Canine Rex. Good job, Jamie. As I say, she was a newbie, so you can punch me later for saying that. Officer William Foster from the Syracuse Police Department and his new canine, Brit. Both Jamie and Billy will be, their specialties are going to be narcotics when they complete that phase of the training. From the Troy Police Department, Officer Robert Smith and Canine X. No, I didn't say Rex, I said X. Relax. Good job, Robbie. Thank you very much. As I said, we had a vast array of experience, and that certainly helped us. Unfortunately, the chief had mentioned, Mr. and Mrs. I can't talk today, Mr. and Mrs. Dalton. Rod Dalton was a longtime handler with the Syracuse Police Department. He was a friend, fellow handler, and just an all-around good guy. Probably one of the most active cops and best cops that I ever had the pleasure of working with. Unfortunately, illness took Rod too soon. When we started doing the schools, we wanted to come up with something to honor him, because he was a very big part of what we did in our success. And we came up with what is called the Rod Dalton Award, and we're going to have the Daltons present that. Chief Thompson, if you can read the what this award is.
Sergeant Rod Dalton was a canine handler with the Syracuse Police Department for 18 years. During that time, he worked tirelessly to get the most out of his 3 canine partners. He would give his best to everything he did, going out of his way to help out his fellow canine handlers. Rod was a quiet and efficient handler who was well respected by his peers. Sadly, he was taken from us too soon. The Rod Dalton Award is not a top dog award. Rather, it is given to the handler who has gone above and beyond what is expected of him or her. To choose a winner out of this year's class proved to be a difficult task for the instructors. Each handler had a degree of experience that was different from each other. This year's winner not only brought out the best in their canine partner, but also showed the ability to absorb the information given and being able to put in to the practice of making the dog progress in an easy manner. This handler performed every task given to him or her quietly and efficiently, just like Rod. The 2016 Rod Dalton Award is presented to Officer Jamie Buffone and Canine Rex of the Ithaca Police Department.
Mr. Dalton, very nice to meet you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Dalton. Thank you, Chief. I wish I could give 3 awards because each individual here really deserved it. It was really a tough choice. I always try to come up with something witty to close the ceremony with, and I really haven't come up with anything that's that good. And Joe's suggestions, I can't kind of say some of what Joe suggests, so we're going to keep it simple and just say Class of 2016 Spring Patrol Dog Tracking Class dismissed. Good job.